All right, so I've had the chance to play The Last of Us Part 2 Remastered, and of course, one of the biggest things in that remaster has been this no return mode that we've seen a lot from it from Naughty Dog, and it seemed like a really interesting concept that could also be done very poorly and that they could possibly not put a lot of time or effort into. And so I wanted to give you my first impressions and thoughts of the no return mode and my personal experience with it and kind of with this game in general. And so let's dive into it. So first off, the mode's actually really good. Actually surprisingly good. I didn't know how much fun I was going to have with this thing and how replayable it would be. My biggest fear is that they wouldn't have put a lot of effort into it and it would kind of lose its luster really quickly. That to play multiple encounters, I was worried that they would all feel very similar and that if you put a bunch of hours into this, that eventually it just wouldn't be that enjoyable. And I'm happy to say that that's not the case at all, that they put a lot of time and effort into this game mode and into this kind of no return roguelike mode. And so it's actually really, really great. And there's lots of cool things to talk about. But I think the biggest thing is the gameplay, is that they put a lot of time and effort into this gameplay, making it fun. Of course, you have all of the artificial intelligence that is in the game's kind of NPCs already, so the enemies are pretty smart. They move around. They've got a bunch of different game modes that give you different variety, whether it's just facing an onslaught of enemies that are just coming wave after wave. You've got a certain amount of time that you have to survive, or whether it's you having to hunt down enemies, or even other game modes. And one thing that I really liked is that they have a custom mode where you can kind of play the normal style and figure out the different types of gameplay that are available. And then if you don't like certain aspects, you can make a custom run where you can actually pick the parts of the roguelike mode that you actually enjoy the most and make a custom run, which is really cool. And having things like a daily run and all those different things were really awesome. That the whole gameplay as a whole was super well done. Being able to have a home base where after each successful round you could go in and upgrade your guns and purchase new weapons and be able to do that was well done. And so just overall, the gameplay was really, really great. The other thing I really wanted to talk about was the characters. And I think including multiple characters was a very smart idea on behalf of Naughty Dog. Making Joel one of the hardest characters to get was also smart on their behalf, because it made me put more time and effort into the normal mode before I left, because I wanted to be able to play as Joel again. And one of the things that was even cool and funny about Joel's character was that he can't dodge. And so it does seem like people used to have this theory that when they redid part 1, that the reason why Joel can't dodge and do those different things is because he's older than Ellie and he's just too old to do it. It seems like that's kind of like jokingly the case in the lore because they don't give Joel the ability to dodge. But the characters were really well done. We're able to have this vast amount of different characters who have different weapons and different perks and also kind of negatives towards them. So obviously Ellie is a smaller character. She's not as big as Joel or Abby, and so she's kind of a more well-balanced, but you want to keep some distance with her. Then you have somebody like Tommy who, like, his gameplay really leans toward distance and sniping people and using stealth, and that's really cool. And then you have someone like Joel who's kind of like a brute, but he can't dodge, and just all the different varieties of characters that you can get in this mode and how they kind of shake up the gameplay a bit depending on who you have. How you can also have companions with you in certain challenges was also cool. And so I think they did a really great job of giving you different characters and a variety of things that will just keep this gameplay interesting. And the last thing I want to address, because I think after they announced that The Last of Us Online was no longer happening, it felt like this was probably it for modes like this. And so a lot of the factions fans have been looking forward to No Return, like myself, because I've been dying for a Factions 2, was really hoping we were going to get it. And then they recently announced that that's not happening at all. And even though I really enjoy this mode, and I think it's a ton of fun, and I'll put more hours into it, I still think I'll find myself going back to to the original Last of Us and playing factions online still. That they're, as great as the AI is in The Last of Us and in that franchise, that they've done a great job programming enemies that are really smart and intelligent, it still isn't as fun as playing against real people. And if I could just have one critique, it's that I really wish that they would release a Factions 2 for this game. That having a game mode like this with all of this variety makes me just think, man, imagine what, like, if you were to take this and add in just that the enemies are actually real people and give us that Factions 2, but with all of these different characters you can play as and different maps, different game modes, that would be so much fun. And there's no denying that that would be better than this. And so I hope that one day they release a more bare bones Factions 2. That I know they had this grand idea for The Last of Us online multiplayer that was just too big, and I would really love if they just sent out an update that even allowed you to play No Return with other people online. That would be something that would be enough. Or to even just release an update for the remaster where they give you a Factions 2 that has maps and has the combat, and it's just basic, more like what Factions originally was, and it just feels like a sequel to it where it's pretty much just maps from the second game with the updated combat. That's all they would need to do to make Factions fans happy. And just playing this game mode makes me miss that. It makes me sad that we're not getting that Last of Us Online, because this game mode is actually really well done, and if it had some sort of online aspect, it would be even better. But sadly it doesn't. And so even though I really enjoy this mode and I will be diving into it more, I know for a fact that if I'm looking to dive into some, like, hey, let me just play some quick gameplay from The Last of Us, that I will definitely reach for The Last of Us Remastered and play that Factions Online before I reach for No Return. And that's kind of a sad thing. And so as much as I really enjoyed this, it makes me sad that we're not getting Factions 2. It again just makes me mourn that The Last of Us Online isn't happening, because I think what could really take this mode to the next level would be adding online, and sadly I don't think that's ever going to happen. But with that being said, those are my quick thoughts on The Last of Us Part 2 Remastered No Return mode. And I'm curious to hear what you guys think. Have you been able to play this? Have you enjoyed it? Did you enjoy the variety of characters and game modes and how diverse and deep this roguelike mode actually is? Or did you not really enjoy it? Are you like me in playing this, like, mourning that we're not getting a Last of Us Online game, because they could have taken all of these great elements and put them in online, and now we're just like, we're just not getting that? Let me know in the comment section down below. Like, comment, subscribe, all that junk. And I will see you guys in the next one.